Do you guys remember when this used to be the regular practice for single-player games? Okay, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, peak player count down 82%, less than a month after release. Here's the thing, man, like it gets all... This is generally how businesses go. You get all of your sales up front, people are super hype about it, you know, upon release, they play through it, they get the experience that they want. Some people complete it, some people just, you know, peter out at a point that something else will come along, so, you know. They'll dip their toe back in from time to time. Maybe people have better things to do. It's all well and good. The game still has impeccable and impeachable reputation. That's all fine. It's just people have better things to do with their time. And even still, falling down 82% from their lofty highs to begin with, it's still higher concurrent player counts than certain games that have released in the past week or so, but after releasing on April 22nd, the Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered hit a peak player count of 216,784 concurrent players on the game's first Sunday. However, the 24-hour peak player count, has declined to 38,945 over this past weekend. Okay, that's an 82% decline in less than a month, which is, hey man, single player games like this, it's not going to stick around at the top of the charts forever. But the fact that they hit those highs, well, hey, that's something that they can tout that not a lot of other games can. Sorry, still a little bit under the weather and still mumbling, mush-mouthing my way through a couple of lines, but that's fine, that's fine. But 40,000 concurrent players on the weekend? That's not bad, okay? When people have free time available, when most of your gaming is generally going to happen, the game still has impeachable, like I said before, word of mouth behind it. That's fine, man. I wouldn't necessarily chalk that up as a failure. Bethesda has bigger problems on their hand. I mean, check out Doom the Dark Ages. 3 million players. How many sales do you have? 3 million players. That's fantastic. But what about another game that they were partially responsible for that came out earlier this year? You want to talk about a steep decline, 82% in less than a month? I mean, you could take a look at Avowed here and 19,000 concurrent players in 3 months. Oh no, but the game released day and date on Game Pass. You can't look at Steam numbers for that. Again, I ask, how's it a game like Oblivion that'll come out and say we have 4 million players will go out there and say, oh yeah, we have 216,000 concurrent players. Meanwhile, yeah, Skyrim, the most modded game of all time. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah, Skyrim still has a lot of players that's out there, bro. I don't know what you're doing, but Skyrim's practically a genre of its own. Okay, that's like saying, oh, this open world game is not performing as well as GTA 5 and it released in Obama's first term. Holy shit, I wasn't even being hyperbolic with that. That actually did happen. That is wild to think about, but... Oh no, I'm sorry. 2013 that came out, so it was second term. His first year of his second term. I digress. There are certain games that are, you know, on Mount Rushmore and Skyrim for as much as I don't really rank it that highly. It's very much up there, okay? But for a game that shadow dropped on a random April day and amassed at 216,000 concurrent players, meanwhile, you could just go ahead and check it out for your $20 subscription. If you have an Xbox or if you have Microsoft Game Pass on PC, that ain't bad. That is really not bad. Compare that to Avowed, which 532 players, topping out at 851 over this past weekend. Not great. Okay, really not great. And 289 players this Tuesday evening that I'm recording. This was supposed to be the next big IP out of Obsidian, okay? Out of one of the sister studios under the ZeniMax Bethesda umbrella. What happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. It was looking way too much like a Dragon Age of the Veilguard. You had an adversarial creative department that was going to war with the likes of Elon Musk and anybody who had a right-of-center disposition, and you ended up getting what you deserve. A dead game that's going to ultimately result in the closing down of another legendary studio. Paging Bioware, you have another friend to walk to the unemployment line with. Avowed is sharing a similar fate with Dragon Age of the Veilguard, because if you recall, one Corinne Bush, that game director, managed to get up out the ashes of Bioware and snag a sweet gig working at Wizards of the Coast in one of their upstart gaming departments, and Avowed's game director departs Obsidian and joins Netflix's gaming team. Wow, that's A very interesting parallel that we have right there. Okay, Carrie Patel, who served as game director on this year's acclaimed fantasy action RPG Avowed. Acclaimed, I beg your pardon, has confirmed her departure from Obsidian Entertainment after nearly 12 years with the studio and announced a new role at Netflix. Oh, 12 years. 12 years to go over to floundering Netflix gaming. Interesting. Patel, who was very much the face of Avowed throughout its development, shared the news in a brief update on LinkedIn. Hey, I torched the company, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave and get up out here. Having joined Oxenfree developer Night School Studios as a game director over at Netflix's gaming division. She offered no further clue as to what she'll be working on in Night School in her update, but the Oxenfree and Afterparty studio has an impressive track record despite its limited output since being acquired by Netflix in 2021. Released Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals in 2023, but nothing else until Black Mirror tie-in Thronglets arrived earlier this year, a release followed by an unspecified number of layoffs at Night School in March. Okay, cool. So you went from one sinking ship to another. Netflix's gaming strategy has taken some dramatic shifts in direction since the streaming service first a tentative step back in 2021. Yeah, this is about the last time that we heard about, because there is games on Netflix. Nobody knew about it at the time. And then the next time that anybody was informed about it was when, we're just kind of we're going to get out of the whole gaming space. We're just going to focus on the streaming wars and how we're absolutely beating the brakes off of everybody. But I digress. After an initial focus in gaming in 2023, even hitting up longtime Halo creative lead Joseph Staten, Overwatch executive producer Chaco Sonny, and our God of War art director Rafael Gracietti to found a new development team. However, Netflix quietly closed the studio late last year and reportedly now focusing on narrative and transmedia projects on a big mainstream IP, on being a destination for families, and on party games played on TV using mobile phones as a controller. That shit sounds like absolute fucking cancer, and exactly why you need to poach the speciality of somebody who has got 12 years of action RPG experience under their belt. Very interesting, but Avowed, right? Like, as for Avowed, prior to Patel's departure from Obsidian, she suggested it wasn't a one and done effort, that now that we built this wonderful world and also built this team strength and muscle memory around the context and the gameplay of the world, I'd love to see us do more with it. Exactly, because you cast your minds back a couple of months and Avowed DLC seems likelier than ever as Obsidian Entertainment promises ongoing support and a roadmap is coming soon. Well, guess what didn't show up? A roadmap, but you know what did? The resignation of your game director. Oopsie daisy. Before Avowed came out, the team were playing coy about whether the game would get post-launch support. Developer Obsidian Entertainment has now confirmed it'll continue supporting the new fantasy epic with a roadmap coming out in the next few weeks. Like I said, this article right here, this quote-unquote news came out in the middle of March. It is at the end of May. We have no update on this quote-unquote roadmap. Our team is committed to ongoing support. Sure you are. And we're always looking for ways to improve. Senior community manager Eric, wrote in the studio's forum. Your input is key to help us refine and expand Avowed, and we are excited to keep rolling out updates. Within the next few weeks, we are going to be releasing a roadmap that will go over some of the plans that we have that will be coming in the game in the upcoming year. So keep your eyes peeled. Avowed Director Carrie Patel. Oh, that's funny, because she was the director at the time this article was written, but not anymore. She's off, just picking out a new office over the Netflix building. Previously said that she would love to see the team do something more with the world, though she didn't elaborate whether that would come in the form of updates, expansion, or a sequel. DLC still hasn't been confirmed for Avowed, but the fact that we're getting a full roadmap probably means whatever updates we do will probably be a meatier than your common bug fixes and stat adjusting patches, which is absolutely fucking hilarious, because you know what else? You know what other game followed a similar roadmap? We'll bring it up one final time to really drive this point home, and that in fact would be, you guessed it, Dragon Age the Veilguard. Remember guys, oh no, we're so excited to continue this. All of the critics were telling us it's a return to form. This is the best Dragon Age game since the last Dragon Age game, and it's so nice to see all of this stuff. And oh, what's that? Your next update was your last update when you said Arrivederci in the patch notes. Oh, that's interesting. And why did the creative director leave? And why are now all the writers? And why did Bioware just get gutted? Oh no. almost like you put out a pile of mediocre shit, which that, like, for the 6 people that actually played Avowed said that there were some fun mechanics, but the world was kind of dead and the characters were kind of ass. So you had something kind of going on there, but the aspects that Netflix's new hire wants to go ahead and point out, yeah, that was the weakest aspect of Avowed. So congratulations, Obsidian and Netflix. Looks like you played yourself. You decided to invest a whole bunch of money in a brand new IP after you gave Obsidian leeway enough to make that entirely overrated and underperforming Outer Worlds series. Yeah, what is that? Outer Worlds 2 is about to drop. We'll see how well that's going to perform and whether or not Obsidian ends up fully going the way of Bioware. You're already halfway there. You're well along on your own roadmap. You don't even need to release it at this point. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.